live to tell us a little bit more about what we're learning about these suspects. And Stephanie, these suspects, it's chilling. They include educated, distinguished, high-ranking individuals. It's happening all around us for people in our everyday lives.
Marky, chilling indeed. I mean, these are teachers, these are coaches, nurses, retirees, people you and I would know in our communities, and it can really happen anywhere. And law enforcement say that this problem is so pervasive that even the most successful operations, like this one in Ohio or like one in Florida last week, doesn't even begin to put a dent in this problem. But it doesn't stop law enforcement from stepping up their game every single time to try to clamp down on human trafficking.
Your hands up.
This is one of 160 arrests made in Ohio over the past week in what law enforcement calls Operation Buyer's Remorse.
Hey!
How's it going, buddy? It's not just cops. Everybody that's in the fight, that's trying to help the survivors of human trafficking, is there on the ground, and every one of them is necessary.
In Polk County, Florida, more than 200 people were arrested last week in a similar undercover operation, including 35 who investigators say were living in the country illegally, and 2 alleged traffickers.
Sometimes we work an entire operation without being able to identify the human trafficker because the ladies are scared to death of them. So we think it's a big, big deal.
Former FBI agent and News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Koffendorfer says operations like this are becoming more and more frequent in order to try to clamp down on what she calls a crisis.
Now we are seeing the fruits of the labor of after COVID being over. These investigations are being brought into fruition now, I think, because of the porous border situation, where you have even more vulnerable people that are going to be susceptible and being trafficked. Unfortunately, you're going to see even more of a rise in these types of cases.
And one thing Jennifer points out there is that so many of these human trafficking cases are getting that much more attention. So that means that they are getting more and more resources. And as you saw with Sheriff Brady in Florida there, that, there were all these people standing behind him. Half of those people, even more, are social services workers who help in these sting operations to work with these potential victims to make sure that they get the help that they need and don't fall back into that human trafficking pattern.